Hey everybody, this is Nathan Lehman at the Ultra Running Company in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're really excited that you have joined us for another shoe review. Today we're going to be talking about the Topo Phantom 2, and this is a complete overhaul of the Phantom line, and we think you're going to be pretty excited, so let's just jump right in. In our parlance, this is what we would call a comfort cushioned, low drop road running shoe. So what does that mean? We'll just start from the beginning. First of all, the comfort cushion. Basically the amount of cushion in this shoe is advertised by Hoka as having 28 millimeters in the forefoot and 33 millimeters here under the heel. That gives it a 5 millimeter drop, and guess what? They say it has a 5 millimeter drop. Well, we've measured it. We measure without the insole. Came up with 23.8 millimeters in the forefoot, 29.2 in the heel. It's a 3.8 millimeter insole, which gets us exactly spot on with what Topo says. So in that regard, their measurements are spot on. 28, 33, 5 millimeter drop. That 33 millimeters in the heel and 28 in the forefoot make this an extremely plush shoe. I would almost say maximally comforted, if that wasn't such a marketing buzz term right now. But this is a lot of cushion. It's actually 3 millimeters more than the prior Phantom, so a significant change there. 3 millimeters is a noticeable amount of cushion when you get to it. So what you'll feel in this, while they're still using the same zip foam, which is a proprietary foam, it's a blended rubber that they use, an EVA mix. EVA is just a type of rubber. Sorry to get into a little back office speak, but that rubber is basically compressed, put into a mold, and shaped into this 5 millimeter drop shoe, which we find exceptionally comfortable. On the bottom of this shoe, we have two sections. The first is this darker high wear rubber on the heel area where people tend to strike, and on the forefoot, midfoot area where other people tend to strike, and on the toes where you push off. So all of the black portions are where you're going to get the long life out of this, out of the tread. Everywhere that it's white is actually the same material as this zip foam midsole. And so what that means is if you're in here and you're landing and you may scuff this off, probably not a huge issue. We've had really good luck with the zip foam on this shoe. It tends to hold up very well over time, tends to keep that bounce to it, and we expect that this shoe will probably last a little longer than your typical average shoe. What does that mean? Well, shoes wear differently from one person to another, but generally speaking, the industry says if you can't make 250 miles, you're probably not doing a great job. 250 to 400 miles is pretty average for a shoe, and over 400 miles, 1,000, who knows what you can get out of a shoe, is a little atypical, but a long-lasting shoe. So we think this is going to fall in that over 400 average type. So again, if you're a little heavier, it might not last quite as long. If you're a little lighter, it might last darn near forever. So that's really where it stands. But what we find with this zip foam is it has this really nice, comfortable landing, a little bit of bounce out of it, and the roll, where on the original Phantom it was a very dramatic roll, almost an uptick on the toe box. It's one of the pieces of feedback we'd get from a lot of customers. We'd actually have to half size up in the shoe so that they'd feel comfortable because of that angle. It's really been optimized in the Phantom 2 to the point that this shoe fits very true to size and really gives you that nice roll off, very reminiscent of something like a Hoka Bondi, where it's just the right mix between cushion landing and toe off. So we're really happy with what they did to the sole, this midsole and tread area of the Phantom. Moving on, in a place that we're really happy is really this whole upper, the fabric material on the top. They've taken a cue in both the shape of this shoe and in the material that they've used from what we found to be a wildly popular Ultrafly 3. same type of shoe, less cushion. In the Phantom, they've maximized that cushion, but they've taken this really nice engineered mesh fit with just a couple of, these are almost more cosmetic lines than they are adding any structural support. I could be argued on that with a shoe designer, but really you're getting the structure out of the fabric itself. And so what happens is it gives you a nice kind of hug around the instep, and then because it's a topo, it has this rounded toe box, and I'll show you that from the other side, kind of a rounded toe box here. It fits feet that aren't tapered. And when we look at this and compare it to another, probably the most popular maximally cushioned shoe on the market, the Hoka Bondi, we find the big difference between the two right now is the shape of this toe box. So if you have a little bit wider or squarer foot, you're gonna really like the feel of this. If you have a more pointed foot, you may find like you have extra room in the toe box. So this is one of those foot-shaped, wide, whatever you wanna call it, toe boxes. But it does really allow your toes to move around with no inhibition at all. So again, we're getting that nice snug feel here. Topo has always been known for having a very nice athletic fit around the heel. What does that mean? It means it really locks you in on the heel. This uses a decent amount of cushion to do so, but you really feel controlled and consistent in the heel. Nice hug around the instep, and then wide open on your toes, which just feels great. As we move up, you're going to see there are some stitches on this shoe. We're not sure that those are absolutely necessary, but they probably prolong the life just a little bit. Every once in a while on a bonded shoe, you'll see some separation there, but it's super, super rare. That's probably how they decided to do it. They probably decided to do it so they could have this cosmetic look right here. There's really no purpose for that. These do not, some shoes, those will be open, but these are attached to the shoe itself, which means that they're not providing any additional clamp down feature. It's just more of a stylistic point in our opinion. As you move to the tongue, we really love the fact that, like a lot of shoes right now, the tongue is actually connected down here underneath your insole. So it's called a gusset, and not only does it keep rocks and debris out from your hitting your foot on the sides, it goes all the way down, all the way up to about here, and really gives you that sock-like fit that makes you feel like the shoe was designed just for you. What that means is that this shoe isn't going to move around at all, this tongue. Not only that, but Topo has a fantastic tongue security system here. A lot of shoes will have a piece right here, but it still allows it to move from side to side. Well, it's not going to do that in this shoe because it has the gusset, but also these two pieces, even if the gusset wasn't there, make it very, very consistent right in the middle of the shoe. As for the feel of the tongue, nice amount of cushion. Again, the whole shoe just serves to really lock you down in the heel, give you the security here in the midfoot, and wide open in the toe box. And I'm just going to keep going back to that because what we've got here for folks with a little bit wider is a near perfect maximally cushioned shoe. Now, do we think you should always be running in a maximally cushioned shoe? Probably not. The foot tends to get a little bit more of a workout in low cushion shoes, but if you have any type of discomfort in your foot, if you're moving up in mileage and you want to start a shoe that kind of bridges the gap there, having a little bit more cushion is always a nice benefit. So we use it in that manner. Now, the other piece of this shoe is it's relatively light. For women, they listed at 8.4 ounces, and for men at 10.2 ounces. Now, I don't wear a sample size shoe. That's usually a men's 9 or so, a women's 7.5. But in my size 13 boats, this thing comes in at 13.1 ounces, which is not a light shoe per se. This is one area where we did find a big difference between our measurements and those provided by Topo. According to Topo, the original Phantom and the Phantom 2 both weighed in at 10.2 ounces for the men's sample size. What we've found is that the Phantom 2 is coming in at half an ounce to an ounce heavier across the spectrum. So in my size 13 at 13.1 ounces, I was actually 0.7 ounces lighter in the old Phantom. Now I've got to tell you that that's not an amount of weight that I feel when you get up in the 13 ounce area. Now if you were to add on say 7 ounces in a 9 ounce shoe up to a 9.7 ounce shoe, you'd feel that. It's about 10% of the shoe's weight, but here you're around 5% of the shoe's weight, and it wasn't noticeable, and it was made up for by just how comfortable this shoe was. So we're very happy with it. We do think it weighs a little bit more than the original Phantom, but the drop is the same. The fabric's much better. The shape of the carve is probably going to be more preferable to virtually everyone that puts it on, and we hope that you'll give this this shoe a shot. We think it's one of the best maximally cushioned entrants on the market right now, and we're really enjoying wearing it on many of our runs. So again, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel. We hope that you'll leave questions. We will try to answer them, and as always, we hope that you learn to love to run. Thanks, and have a great day.